Hello and welcome you crazy people, my name is Jay, and in recent news, EA no longer have exclusive rights to make Star Wars video games. And that is potentially good news depending on how well you think EA has managed the Star Wars license, which after the Battlefront 2 saga with microtransactions, I suspect a lot of people think not so well. However, a lot of people did seem to enjoy Jedi Fallen Order, so maybe a mixed bag. However, the question I want to ask here is, could this lead to a new Star Wars MMO? Star Wars is obviously one of the biggest, most massive IPs out there, therefore it would make sense. Now, the obvious cat in the room to that scenario is the fact that there already is an existing game made by EA, but I'll tell you why I think that's not necessarily that relevant. So I'll just quickly show you the news, just in case you've not seen it. This was posted on the this is starwars.com, so it talks about how, you know, there's a new Ubisoft, or I forgot what Jim Sterling calls them, but yeah, they're making a new open world single player game, which sounds quite exciting. I mean, yeah, it sounds really exciting, to be fair, if you're a Star Wars fan, which I casually am, if that makes sense. But yeah, so Ubisoft are making a new game for them, and EA no longer have the exclusive rights. Now, Star Wars, The Old Republic is the biggest Star Wars MMO that's on PC and stuff like that. It came out in 2011, but basically it came out in 2012. It was the very end of 2011. Yeah, at least in EA and in NA and EU. Now, it was developed by BioWare, but it was actually EA who made that. Now you might be thinking, Jay, why are you being so weird? There already is an existing game. Yes, it's 8 years old, but why would they bother changing it? And I think EA had no real plans to develop an MMO. They know that they cost quite a lot of money. EA has had the license. I'm not 100% sure how long they've had the license, but it's obviously been a while. We had the Battlefront games and stuff like that. So they had exclusive rights. And now that they're making, Lucasfilm making, what they call it, Lucas Arts Games. Let me have a look. Well, Lucasfilm Games, which I remember playing like Jedi Academy and stuff like that. But now that they have a proper dedicated thing for games, and they're just going to sort of like dish out the IP wherever they think it's relevant, it seems like, could we see a proper MMO developer take on a Star Wars IP and make a Star Wars MMO? Like, I think the answer to that is maybe. I think EA didn't have the appetite to make another. They have that one. Yes, it's getting a bit long in the tooth now. It's getting a bit old. I know that it's weird saying that, considering, like, you know, World of Warcraft is 15 years old, but it's looking dated a little bit. It could be time to reinvigorate it with the new license. A little bit like Lord of the Rings is getting a second game, a second MMO. Maybe Star Wars could get a second MMO, but EA didn't want to do it. Maybe the Lucasfilm games are like, you know what, we'll just give this license to somebody else and they'll make it. And that would be a lucrative prospect. You know, The Mandalorian's doing well, the sequel trilogy films, yikes. But, you know, with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show and everything like that coming, two big IPs right now in the universe that Disney own, you know, Star Wars and Marvel. Could we see something Star Wars new coming on the horizon for MMOs? It's been my instinct actually says no. Like, I think the reality of the situation is that they're not going to do an MMO because they don't like the cost, but it's a lucrative prospect. I think for me, I'm almost convinced that there'll be a bit of a renaissance in the MMO genre, but I'm not 100% sure what the trigger will be. Whether or not a company is going to try and get ahead of it, like with Star Wars or something, remains to be seen. I sort of suspect no, but there's at least games being made that are Star Wars that aren't from EA, and that's potentially good news for just video game fans, which hopefully and I would presume we all are. That's it. Short video. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.